Hello everyone. The Shrine of the Storm is the dungeon that awaits at the end of the Stormsong Valley questing. The zone is still very much in development, but the story so far, it pretty much comes down to the valley. It houses House Stormsong and the majority of their tidesages. No Kul Tiran fleet sets sail without their blessing, but nobody has heard from the fleet in months, while the tidesages, they've withdrawn and seem uninterested in finding their missing ships. As we go through the zone, we find out that their connection to Azeroth Sea, a place that we know to house beings like Queen Azshara and the old god Azeroth, that has put them on quite a dark path. Lord Stormsong reveals himself to be our enemy, but together with Brother Pike, we try to confront him and eventually chase him down into the Shrine of Storm, pretty much the holy temple. This shrine must be cleansed of Lord Stormsong's evil, but our friend Brother Pike, he can sense some dark presence watching us. Our first encounter, that is actually summoned in by Lord Stormsong himself. This encounter, Akusir, is an elemental with a face that only a mother could love. Formed from the depths, it seeks to wash away intruders of the sacred temple by using Undertow, which channels dark water into a player. This deals frost damage over time, and it tries to push them back. He also inflicts us with Choking Brine, which is a dot, and upon being dispelled, it travels to another player to then start hurting them. A Surging Rush, which is a charge that you want to avoid, and at 50% health, he'll split into smaller Aqualings. They do the same as before, same abilities, only now they have 40% less power behind their attacks. Kill the copies, kill the boss, and let's move on. Whereas Warcraft's Manor, that was very free-flowing, this dungeon is a whole lot more linear, with a bunch of trash packs standing in our way. They prepare us for some of the abilities for the encounter that is coming up. Gilcaller and Brother Ironhole, they are the Tidesage Council.
Welcome, Brother Pike. You have arrived just in time to witness our victory.
Once our ritual is complete, the Kul Tiran fleet will belong to Queen Azshara!
The brother is the tankier of the two. They place a rune on the floor, which decreases their damage taken by 75%, so you definitely want to move them out of the rune. The Gilcaller, that is the damage dealer, which places a swiftness rune on the floor. This increases haste and movement speed by 25%, as well as granting immunity to movement impairing effects. She also shoots out Slicing Blast, which not only does damage, it also increases nature damage taken by 20%. While Ironhole, he is a frontal cleave attack, which deals a whole bunch of physical damage and reduces movement speed by 70%. All in all, not too bad to deal with, just don't let them stand at the runes for too long.
Return me to the sea.
Onwards we go to the beautiful Kraken, I suppose. Kraken entrance with the glowing eyes into the mouth of the beast. The deep sea ritualists, they have a whole bunch of dredged sailor skeletons to throw at us, while the cultists, they start to show their true forms. The deeper we go into the dungeon, the more of a void influence we get to see, similar to how you don't want to go too deep in the oceans of Azeroth. Tentacles and transforming priest galore, until we find the Church of Stormsong and confront the Lord, who's having a conversation with someone rather interesting.
It would seem you have guests, Lord Stormsong.
Pike still does his best to convince his master to stop this madness and not hand over the Kul Tiran fleet to Azshara, but Stormsong, he's too far gone. He wants to return to the sea, and Queen Azshara has promised to give them the power to do so. Now during the stream, I actually wondered why the Naga were interested in the fleet. Considering, you know, that they can swim, they're Naga after all. But besides it keeping out of the hands of the Alliance, it's also probably easier to move your troops and equipment. All the same, Stormsong is working for Azshara and will not change his mind, so we confront the Lord, who's not shy about using his void powers. Waking the Void, that summons a bunch of purple orbs that chase you around the battlefield, and touching them is definitely not advised as they do a whole bunch of damage. Instead, you'll want to kite them around until someone gets an ancient mindbender stuck on their face. These little creatures, they will start to whisper to you, they will try to make you surrender to the void, and only a whole bunch of damage, like being beaten up by your party or running into those purple orbs, that will make them let go. If you don't do it in time, you'll actually be turned into a squid beastie like Lord Stormsong, and you'll start casting Shadowbolt Volley. Each of these does around 50% damage to your party, so do make sure to get the squid off your face before it's too late. Pike's master turned against the tide and has now been pulled underneath it, but something's not right. The darkness still festers here, and we need to go further through the depths of the water to confront it. Little electric squids, they're floating in the caves, which at the moment don't actually do any damage. They only stun you, but when you're trying to get a nice time on your Mythic Plus key, they become quite a problem. On the other side of the cave, we discover what the source of darkness is that Brother Pike can feel.
Darkness rules, pestilence spreads. The doorway is open.
Volsif the Whisperer promises power, but only offers doom to those who would accept a bargain. He smacks the tank around for a bit, while gaining energy. He has whispers of power that increases the target's damage and healing done by 20%, but the darkness, it does strain the body, causing the target to be unable to be healed above 90%, and that effect increases over time. He also has a Yawning Gate, which is a massive purple pool on the floor, which, trust me on this one, you do not want to stand in. Tentacles occasionally spawn in to slam the area, while his coolest ability, that is probably Grasp of the Sunken City. When he reaches 100% energy, he'll pull us all into the sunken realm, sealing us away and trying to drown us until we defeat the shadowy denizens within. We need to take care of the Kavraxi and the squid creatures. We need to save our allies. Now upon reaching the surface again, we can interrupt this casting and resume the fights.
I will await you in the dark.
You dare to interfere in my affairs? What makes you think you can oppose my will? Enjoy this victory. It will be your last.
Really cool to see the connection with Queen Azshara and Azeroth, clearing out the shrine that gains us the support of Stormsong Valley, and I assume the Kul Tiran fleet. Of course, it's no surprise to see the Queen play a role, as we know from BlizzCon already that she'll have the part to play in an upcoming raid, but just the smallest taste right here in the dungeon is very, very nice. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Shrine of the Storm. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like. You all know how YouTube works. And until next time, guys, see ya!